Yes, time has come for every one of us to realize the importance. It's no longer just a mere discussion. It's moved from the era of speculation to the inevitable implementation in everything we used to call finance. Artificial intelligence and related technologies has reshaped the entire finance and banking sector beyond anyone's wildest dreams or imagination. That's the reason why it's no longer a question whether AI can improve your credit score or your banking or your bank balance, or in fact, every banking activity you have. On your so-called cell phone today, all of us are now benefiting from e-banking. The seed was planted in the public mind during that pandemic era of lockdown and being able to use your mobile devices to connect to your providers. Today is no longer a matter of whether or not we can benefit from that. So type yes in the comments if you know that technology has impacted your banking habits. Type yes. I don't need to know where you're calling us from. Thank you for joining us from whatever part of the world you're joining us from. We're blessed to have your presence. And I hope our discussion today empowers you in some little way or another. Or you can even share this with any of the people in your circle. Because it's now a universal phenomenon. There is no banking transaction or activity that takes place today that follows the same process as 10 years ago. There's been a very quiet revolution in our financial dealings and processes. Some people will lose out. Others will be champions. Some will be early adopters. The choice, ladies and gentlemen, is yours. Would you want to be told how your banking status is determined, whether you are bankable or not bankable, by a human or by an AI? So you need to listen, not just listen, share this with everybody that is in your circle of influence. And please do not forget to make a note in that chat box or in the comment section. We need that note in the chat box or the comment section. The fundamental question I ask is whether or not you think artificial intelligence is improving or impacting your bank and your banking habit. Because AI spells out speed, and most of the banks are very slow. If you still think and wonder whether or not AI is impacting you, you need to go on our financial literacy program. And it's graciously sponsored by the UK's #1 credit report service They've been voted and ranked, highest ranked by Trustpilot, highest ranked credit report provider since 2015. We're going to show you more of that later. But I just need you to know that your score is being determined by tech tools. Your scores, yes. You know your 3-digit scores? Some have 400, others have 500, some have 600, some have 300, others have 800, some have 900. Very few have 1,000, over 1,000. Those scores I just rattled off mean something to somebody somewhere, determining whether or not you can rent the accommodation of your choice, whether you can get the cell phone of your choice, mobile phone of your choice. So the so-called credit score is not just for giving you credit, it's for giving you a house to live in, for giving you a cell phone to use. So let's be very clear about this. And I just want to come up with a quote. I know this is a traditional quote that everyone ought to know. Everyone ought to know. He said, when I think, he said exactly what he thinks. Everyone should at least check their credit file once a quarter. Because he met somebody that he was assisting, and he said, no, I don't need to check my credit file. I know I have good credit and have not had any issues in the past. The question is your credit information held on you accurate? That's one of the most frustrating things if you're dealing with a broker. You talk to an applicant completing a loan form, and only for you to find out that there was one late payment on a bill or a financial commitment. And of course, and that is something very trivial, as simple as an incorrectly set up direct debit. But the consequences can be devastating, not just damaging. Was recalling here, I recently had a case for 380K. The mortgage was declined for an applicant who had a great job, great occupation, very high salary, enviable salary, sizable deposit, but because they had missed one payment on a cell phone, 89 bucks, not up to 100 bucks, 89 bucks. That loan, that mortgage was rejected because of so-called state on the credit. And so they had to start from scratch again. God was whole set of the funds, reapply to another lender, and try to save the property from going back to the market. Frustrated for everyone, nerve-wracking for the client, and additional unnecessary pressure when you're going through that thing that you called mortgage application or you want to purchase a property. And the reason we're having this literacy program is a literacy program. It's not advice, it's a literacy program. The reason why we're having this literacy is to inform you, to empower you, so that you don't become a victim of anything like that. This is where I want to read out a testimonial from Sarah Jones. If not for the insistence on obtaining Check My File, she would never have known that there was default. So he was then able to institute the step and remove that default because it was erroneously attributed to her. So yes, the credit reference agencies and the bureaus are manned by humans and they make mistakes. So that mistake ought to be detected by you, particularly if you're 18 or over. 18 or over, you cannot be afraid to play with this. And the other testimony was on TikTok. Signed up, you're right, completely different. Things on there I didn't know were against my name. People have things registered against their name, or because they lived in a particular address, linked address. You got to be on top of your credit history, a credit report. The beauty of AI now, therefore, the beauty of AI is that it can enhance your credit worthiness analysis because alternative data integration exists now thanks to AI. AI can analyze alternative data points far beyond what your traditional credit report, such as your utility bills payment, your rental payment, and even your social media activity. Again, this comes from user consent. This can provide a complete picture of an individual's financial responsibility, especially those with very limited credit history. We have been fortunate to deploy machine learning insights. Why? By analyzing huge amounts of historical data, vast data. AI algorithms can now learn and identify patterns that predicts future credit behavior. So this makes things more accurate and potentially, although there's hardly any case we've not seen that happen, leading to higher scores for individuals who may have been previously underserved or disadvantaged, really, using traditional models. And another point I'm also failed to share with you here is the financial behavior monitoring. Because AI can now continuously monitor an individual's financial behavior and track improvements in habits, particularly your spending habits, debt repayment pattern, how you use credit utilization. So this ongoing evaluation allows for dynamic credit score adjustments, reflecting positive financial changes and paving the way for better loan terms. You will be able to have that carried out. There is a streamlined credit repair process. Automated credit report monitoring. It's no longer manual, it's automated. AI can constantly scan your credit reports for any errors, inconsistencies, And therefore you, the individual, can identify and rectify them very quickly. This streamlines the previously tedious, very manual, very boring process of report monitoring, report monitoring. And what we never had before, we never dreamed we could have it because of the labor and hours of work involved with it, is now personalized, actionable recommendation. AI can evaluate an individual's credit report, suggest personalized, specific action plan that will skyrocket the score. And these plans involve things like reducing credit card usage, paying down debt, or disputing lies that have been told about you and recorded by so-called past lenders. Then there is the budgeting and debt management. AI-powered budgeting and debt management tools are all available now. And these tools give you real-time insight into your spending pattern and helps individuals to identify areas for improvement and also come up with strategies, steps, and you can manage debt effectively. This improves financial health and ultimately the scores also go up. For institutions, we'll come back to that on a later date, how institutions and organizations and corporate entities can have theirs and done. So why AI is offering very promising and practical possibilities. There are a few challenges here and there about bias and fairness, about security and privacy, and human oversight. So AI has the power to significantly impact your credit score, and I'm ready to assist you to go on this journey that will change everything that your potential borrowers and creditors will always ask. So we're going to give you exact tools later, and we're going to be able to share with you why what we have today is of importance. So if you've gained anything from this conversation so far, I need you to go on the chat box now and type in what you've learned today about AI's integration in credit scoring, what you've learned today about the personalized solution, what you've learned today about the error correction, detection, by the way, of errors, fraud detection, and how leveraging the tools, AI tools, can streamline your credit repair process and get you all the things that you rightly deserve instead of suffering the consequences of falsehood and false reporting. So this is one tool that no individual or institution that is involved in credit scoring can avoid to live without. And by increasing your credit worthiness, and the assessment that everybody's going to have of you is going to be great. The repair, quote unquote repair, they say fix your credit will going to be totally different. And we'll be able to cross the river to the other side when no one will tell you anything anymore that will shock you or that will damage your financial reputation. So up next, we're going to look at individual websites that you ought to log into today with your date of birth only and your full names, and you start the ball rolling. The blessing of being able to deploy facilities, functionalities, and financial instruments you can leverage to change your story. That's what it's all about, folks. That's what we're here. So we're going to go to a Q&A session. Those of you who are here, Q&A session. I'm going to read out some questions in the chat. Thank you. We're very busy with the chat box. I'm going to read out questions in the chat box that will make our conversation today worthy of the time you volunteer, worthy of the commitment you put into this evening, and address any outstanding issues. I have moved addresses. Here's one question. I've moved addresses, and I'm not sure of what address they may have now. But that's fine. If you moved address in the past 6 years, it's on your record. That's okay. You don't need to worry about change of address. They will have, or they should have, your old address. So test with your new address. If that is not there, put in your old address and we'll be able to get things going. Oh, we're going to give you all the tools that you need. Those of you that are with us, don't worry. We'll give you the exact website. We'll tell you which of them is best. Don't use Experian. Don't use Equifax or TransUnion. Don't use them individually. We're going to give you a combined tool that grants you access to all three of them in one go. So for the price of 3, you just get one. For the hassle of 3, you just get one. So you don't need to log into 3 different, and I know there are 4, but 3 are the main ones to be able to know where you stand and how you stand. Okay. If you're on YouTube, I need you to go to the comment section. Yes, I can see those. So thank you. I need to go in the comment section and write that down now, because we must act on these facts. They are facts. We must act on it. Act on it to be able to take advantage of what the AI has conferred on us in this generation. Because your credit analysis quiz, we're going to send that to you, and we're going to monitor those of you that are responding to the quizzes, because that will give us an insight into what challenge you may be facing and why you need it. Every single person needs to have the right score at the very least. At the very least. But they have done it to, they'll do it to anybody. They've done it to prime ministers, secretaries of state. It doesn't matter your status. Doesn't matter. Your score is your score. So thank you for joining us this afternoon if you're in the East Coast, this evening if you're in mainland Europe, this morning if you're in Australasia. Thank you, all of you. And this night, if you're in the Asian Pacific, Australasia, Asia, so morning for all of you in Australasia, afternoon for the Americans, especially East Coast, Midwest, evening for the UK, Europe, and Africa. And thank you for joining us. We will continue in this journey of financial literacy, because ignorance is the biggest disease and an incurable illness. We need to get this literacy. We need to get this financial education. And we need to press on. Thank you for joining us today. Our time is up. We're going to close at the count of 5.